Breaking news from Mason Mill Park. Invasive plants have been annihilating native species.
Wow, Meredith, do you have any more details? How did it happen?
Yeah, we have a reporter on the scene now.
To Laura in the field.
Behind me, you can see the invasive species Helix, more commonly known as English ivy. This species has taken over large parts of Mason Mills and the United States. At first glance, it appears to harmlessly cover the ground, but when you least expect it, it silently annihilates the native species using a variety of different methods. Back to you, Bonnie.
Here's some footage of some various plants in action. See here, the English ivy is stealing sunlight from this poor native plant. It is able to do so because of its vast coverage of many leaves.
And here, this English ivy is killing its competitors by maliciously hoarding all their nutrients.
English ivy can also physically suffocate its victims by slowly overtaking it so that it can no longer produce its own leaves.
Bonnie, this all seems terrible, but why should we care?
Well, Meredith, these naughty invasive plants are preventing native plants from growing in their natural habitat. It changes the food web because it destroys the native plants, which decreases biodiversity and can have an extreme effect on the ecosystem.
Biodiversity? Why does that matter?
Well, biodiversity is the degree of variation of life forms within a system. It can include not only the number of species, but the ratio of species to each other. The higher the biodiversity, the more likely organisms are able to survive if their main food source is depleted.
That makes sense. These plants come in and prevent other plants from living and therefore decrease the ratio of species of plants. Then, the animals that fed on the plants that the invasive species killed no longer have a food source. But what classifies a plant as invasive?
Well, Meredith, according to the National Wildlife Federation, an invasive plant is a plant that is not native to an ecosystem and causes harm to the ecosystem it's invading.
Well, okay, but how did they get there?
Well, you know all those beautiful exotic plants that people love to have in their yards? Some of them are very harmful and invasive. Additionally, invasive plants have been used in an effort to decrease natural events like soil erosion. While these plants have done their job, they also decrease biodiversity.
Would an example be kudzu that's all over Georgia?
Yes, an ice plant along the coast of California.
Yeah, according to the California Invasive Plant Council, or IPC, the Carbobrotus edulis, or by its common name, ice plant, has been planted along highways, on military bases, and in many other public areas along the coast of California. However, it is not native to California. It's native to coastal areas of South Africa, which have a very similar climate to that of the coastal areas of California.
Exactly. The IPC also says that it forms nearly impenetrable mass to dominate resources, including space.
Wow, that's just like English ivy and Mason Mills.
Wait, news from Mason Mill. Back to Laura in the field.
We've located the English ivy. This seemingly harmless plant is taking over Mason Mills Park. The restoration efforts are helping, but it continues coming back. Countless hours have been spent trying to rid this park of the loathsome plant, but it, like the ice plant in California, is a terrific competitor and continues to survive. However,